Since July, we've been investigating the impact of benefits sanctions on people experiencing homelessness. For instance, losing your job seeker's allowance for a month for missing one appointment. We just released our findings in A High Cost to Pay, and I'm joined here today by one of the report's authors, Senna Eswaralingam. Hello, Senna.
Hi, Mike.
The government claims that the aim of benefits sanctions is to provide an incentive for people to go out and find a job. How's that working for the homelessness sector?
It does seem to be working very well. So our research found that only 1 in 5 services said that homeless people were more motivated to find work. Also, sanctions seem to be limiting people's ability to find employment. So they have less money to pay for transport to go to an interview, and also they have less money to pay for clothing to go to interview in. Part of the reason for this seems to be confusion by homeless people around the impact of sanctions and why they're being sanctioned. Also, there seems to be a lack of understanding by the job centre of homeless people's situation. A better understanding of this situation would improve their ability to find employment.
Okay. Now, you spent a lot of time during the research talking to users of homelessness services who have experienced sanctions. What did they tell you about their experiences?
They told us sanctions are causing them quite a few problems. So one of the main problems is around accommodation. So we found that many people were falling into rent arrears, basically because they had less money under sanctions. They are unable to pay all of their rent. Another problem was service charge arrears. So homeless people, when they're using homelessness services, sometimes have to pay some money to them, a service charge. And when they were sanctioned, some people were unable to make this payment. Another large problem was around financial difficulties. So people had less money and they had to borrow money, often from family and friends. And this used to cause relationship problems with family and friends sometimes. Some survey respondents said that some clients had resorted to shoplifting in order to get some of their essentials. Another large problem was around food poverty. So many homeless people had started relying on food banks and day centres for food. And in general, many homeless people were experiencing anxiety and depression. And for homeless people, this is a large problem because many have mental health issues to start off with, and being sanctioned seem to exacerbate these problems.
So what needs to change?
A few things need to change. For one, the government needs to better understand the difficulties that homeless people face. So I mentioned earlier that many homeless people have mental health issues that make it difficult for them to meet job centre requirements. Better understanding of these issues would help homeless people better engage with the job centre, and would in turn help them better help them find work. The second thing that needs to change is there needs to be more information available on sanctions and the options available to people once they are being sanctioned. So I also mentioned earlier that many homeless people were confused about why they were being sanctioned, and then from there what they could do once they were sanctioned. More clearer information about this would help solve this issue. Lastly, there needs to be more transparent data available on sanctions. This would allow us to better assess the impact of sanctions and in turn help us develop more appropriate and better policy.
Now, some people might ask why somebody experiencing homelessness should be treated any differently to anybody else on benefits. What would you say to that?
Well, many homeless people have a large amount of support needs, such as mental health issues, literacy issues, and substance misuse issues. Often these issues are the reasons why they became homeless in the first place. And being sanctioned and the stress involved with being sanctioned can make these issues worse and reverse any progress they're making in terms of getting themselves out of being homeless. So the government needs to take into account these issues when designing their policy, just to make sure that homeless people's situations aren't becoming worse.
Yes, so it really does sound as though benefit sanctions are having a large impact on people experiencing homelessness, and the government needs to take notice. Thank you very much, Senna.
No problem. Thanks.
You can find out more by downloading the full report from our website, www.homeless.org.uk.